Welcome, my friend. This is part 2 to the ongoing series of Saturn's transit into Pisces sign. Correct? In the part 1, I have kind of spoken about the general analysis of 12 ascendants. In this part 2, I'll make it more customized for you. Alright? So before I start the video, let me do the mantra quickly. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vyam Vedvyasaya Namah Om Gurve Namah. Alright, now we are all set to get into part 2. Well, as in part 1, I have briefly spoken about Anna. So in this, as part of intro and as part of concept building or the context building, so to say, I'll take a leaf out of my own life. Now, those who are not interested in the intro part of it, they can use my timestamp and straight away go into the application part of video. Alright, those who are still connected, let's speak about that context building. So it relates to that time when after doing my CA long back, I thought of getting into the civil services. And one of my dear friends, CK, he was also a CA, he also completed CA with me. And we both decided, okay, let us get into the civil services. So I was in Delhi that time, and we inquired and we found out that Vajiram and Ravi was one of the premier institutes who used to provide the coaching for civil services. So we both got enrolled into Vajiram and Ravi and into the preliminary exam coaching as such. So, the moment we stepped into that coaching institute, we realized, in fact, even before joining that institute, the thought my friend or I would have that, we were the toppers of our college and university as such, and a lot of ego and a lot of good things to think about ourselves. But the moment we stepped into that institute, the competition or the talent, what we witnessed was impeccable. We had the privilege to interact with some of the best talent across the country, because there are people from different South India, North India, East, West, all part of the country actually came to that institute or such other good institutes. And we really got to understand our true own capabilities, you understand what I'm trying to say? And so then while we were attempting the preliminary examination, we got to understand that one student was there who had already cleared all the examinations in the previous attempt, prelim, mains and interview. And even then he tried to take part in the next year examination. It was quite surprising. So we happened to ask the person, what is all about? And he quietly responded that last year, though I got through, but I could not secure a position in the top 100. And my friend and I, we looked at each other and we were like, what the heck? And people are not able to clear through the examination. And this guy who got through, but just because he did not secure top 100, and because of which, there's a hierarchy. If you secure the top 50 or so to say, whatever, the number could be different for different years. You get to have the position of your choice from IAS to IPS to IFS to IRS and so on and so forth. You understand? So he again attempted the second time, and that year, while we were attempting the preliminary examination, we got through the preliminary and we were preparing for mains. He took mains, and that year, second year, he actually got the top 10 ranks in India, or the top 10. Fantastic, good for him. Now, both of us, me and my friend, we could not clear the mains examination. We flunked. And then we happened to spend some time with that guy and couple of other intelligent guy whom we really understood intelligent and wise enough to give us some good piece of words. And then we realized that the secret of attempting any competitive examination, be it civil services or some other, is not to collect a lot of books. So my tendency used to be, I used to collect a lot of books. My room was filled with books. And then it was difficult for me to assimilate. The strategy we got to understand, what he or some other good people used to adopt, take one book, read and go through the book completely in detail. Then instead of buying more books, try to attempt the previous year examinations. And that way, if you understand the question, basis your one book study, attempt. But if you don't understand the question is something not in that book, then try to get some more insight of that question and on that topic. That's the right way, rather than accumulating a lot of books and then feeling depressed that I'm not able to complete all the books. That was the learning we had, and my friend applied the learning, and today he is working with the state government in the UP and he is the commissioner revenue taxation part of it in one of the big cities in UP. Okay. Now, why I am taking this example? Because linking it back with my Jyotish and with this video. So I started learning Jyotish way back in 2007 or so. And in the initial part of my Jyotish understanding, the first 6 months, I happened to understand some of the basic concepts. And one of the concepts was Sambandha, or the planetary relationship. Very, very basic. Those of you who will start learning astrology, or those who understand astrology, a relationship is a very basic and fundamental concept. You get to understand at the beginning of your journey. Now, after that, I continued learning more concepts. And specifically in the last 6 years, while I've been associated with the Sri Achyutaran Das Parampara, the content, the quality of learning is just amazing. It has completely changed my Jyotish trajectory. Learning is now more Vedic and enriching. Now, but while I look back at that example, that learning during my IAS days, I need to be focused. While I do have the privilege of a lot of learning coming every day, coming and coming, am I able to assimilate? And the broader question is, when I'm making the video on transit, like I had the first part, what is the takeaway for you? Shouldn't I use the simple and fundamental principles which I learned in the beginning of my career and through my duration till now, in such a way through which you and I can make more sense of this transit and apply on our individual horoscopes? Will that not be a much more meaningful way of understanding astrology? So let us get into the application part of it. Now, Saturn is transiting from Aquarius to Pisces very soon, right? Pisces is the house of Jupiter. This sign is lorded by Jupiter. So what is the relationship of Saturn with Jupiter? By now you would be knowing that Saturn and Jupiter are either friends or enemy or neutral. They are neutral by now, you would be knowing, which is good. If you don't know, that's fine. Now, what is the meaning of Saturn considering Jupiter as neutral, and why neutral? That is a fundamental question. To understand why neutral, there is a concept of relationship, naisergic relationship or natural relationship. How do we calculate that? So to do that, we have to look at the Mool Trikona sign of a planet. Like in this case, we are trying to understand how does Saturn consider Jupiter. So we'll start with the Mool Trikona sign of Saturn. Now Saturn owns 2 signs in the zodiac. One is Capricorn, the other is Aquarius. Out of these 2 signs, Aquarius is the Mool Trikona sign of Saturn. Okay, so from the Mool Trikona sign of Saturn, we have to look at a couple of signs like 2nd, 4th, 5th, 8th, 9th and 12th sign. Now why this sign? There's also a story, there's also a reason. I'm not getting into that sort of reason at this point in time. If you like me to get deeper into the reasoning why these signs, please let me know in comment section. I'll try to make a video specifically on the Sambandha. But now I'm sticking to the topic. I like to make this video short and give you a takeaway which you can apply to your individual horoscope to understand the relationship between Jupiter and Saturn better, and then take it to the next level by applying this understanding to the upcoming transit of Saturn. Yeah. So if I start from Aquarius sign, I want to understand how does Saturn consider Jupiter in terms of relationship. So I'm starting from the Mool Trikona sign of Saturn, which is Aquarius, and I'm looking at 2nd, 4th, 5th, 8th, 9th and 12th. These signs from Saturn and the lords. Okay. Well, to make it easy for you, let us look at this. So let's look at this. How does Saturn treat Jupiter? Okay. So from Mool Trikona sign of Saturn, as I briefly mentioned, right? Just now. So from the Mool Trikona sign of Saturn, this is the Mool Trikona sign of Saturn, right? Which is Aquarius. So we have to look at the lords of following signs. And if we are looking at 2nd, 4th, 9th, 5th, 8th and 12th, these signs, the lords of these signs, those are the friends. Those will be the friends. But all the other lords like 11th, 7th, 3rd, 6th, 10th and 1st, those will become enemy. Okay. So because we are looking from Aquarius, and which is the second sign from Aquarius? Isn't it Pisces? Which is the 4th sign? Taurus. How is it Pisces? Aquarius is the first sign. So 11 and 12th. 12th is Pisces. And the Lord is Jupiter. Likewise, fourth sign, 11, 12th, 1st, 2nd, Taurus. And the Lord is Venus. Right? Likewise, ninth sign would be 11, 12, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. It is Libra and the Lord is Venus. 5th from Aquarius will be Gemini, Lord is Mercury. 8th from Aquarius, sign is Virgo, the Lord is Mercury. 12th from Aquarius, the sign is Capricorn, the Lord is Saturn. So what I can say, that from Aquarius, if we look at all the lords, 2nd, 4th, 9th, 5th, 8th and 12th, so these planets, Jupiter, Venus, Mercury and Saturn, these become friend for Saturn. As simple as that. Whereas all the other signs, like 11th sign from Aquarius, 7th, 3rd, 6th, 10th and 1st from Aquarius, these are those signs. And the lords of these signs, which is Jupiter, Sun, Mars, Moon, Mars and Saturn, they are the enemies for Saturn. Okay. Now Jupiter, if you see, it is coming in the friend section as well as it is coming in the enemical section. That's why friend plus enemy becomes neutral. And that is the reason I'm calling Jupiter as neutral. Whereas if you look at Venus, now Venus is only in the friendly section. So Saturn will consider Venus as its friend. Mercury is only in the friend section. So Saturn will consider Mercury as friend. Saturn is not relevant. We are not talking about Saturn because we are looking at the friendship from Saturn. So we not consider Saturn. Sun is only in the inimical portion. So Saturn will consider Sun as its enemy. Mars is only in the inimical portion. So Saturn will consider Mars is enemy. Moon is only in the enemy section. So Saturn will consider Moon as its enemy. Mars I've already covered. It's only in the inimical section. So that's the reason. That's how we look at the natural friendship. Now we have seen for Saturn, Jupiter is neutral. And at a Vedic level, just try to understand at Vedic level, what is the meaning of this? This is a mathematical formula. Okay, at a Vedic level, what is Saturn? Saturn talks about the discipline. Saturn talks about the traditional value. And what is Jupiter? Jupiter is all about Veda Vedanga. Jupiter is about wisdom. So that trait, because Saturn too thinks about the traditional values, integrities, hard work. So somewhere down the line, Saturn appreciates the traits of Jupiter of reading scriptures. And that is the reason, though at a broader level, Jupiter is completely opposite to Saturn. Saturn is about diseases, Jupiter is about good health. So it's very, very different, But there are some common grounds because of which Saturn considers Jupiter as neutral. But so far we have only spoken about how Saturn considers Jupiter. How about Jupiter? Well, for that you have to make the similar table, which I'm not making. Now you are self-sufficient. You can make the similar table for yourself. I mean, not for yourself, to understand the relationship at a natural, Nesargic or a broader level. If you do that, if you start from the Mool Trikon sign of Jupiter, which is Sagittarius, and make the similar table, you will realize that Jupiter too considers Saturn as neutral. So while we are talking about this transit of Saturn from Aquarius to Pisces, which is a sign of Jupiter, now we know that while Saturn considers Jupiter as neutral, why? Right? Why? At the same time, we now know that Jupiter too considers Saturn as neutral, and the reason we also know. So both Saturn and Jupiter considers each other neutral. That is a very important thing to know, isn't it? Now that we understand how does Saturn treats Jupiter neutral and why so, the next step will be for us to understand the relationship of Jupiter and Saturn, in our individual horoscopes. So that technique is called Tatkalik Sambandha or the temporal relationship. Okay. And why I'm doing it? Because once I have the understanding of the temporal relationship or the relationship of Jupiter and Saturn in my individual horoscope, I can then merge the natural relationship and the Tatkalik relationship to derive something meaningful. Okay. So temporal relationship or the tatkalik relationship. So in this, I will have Saturn in my horoscope at some Rashi. You have to look at your individual horoscope now. Pick up your own horoscope and see, Saturn must be there in some Rashi in your horoscope. One of the Rashis from Aries to Pisces. And Jupiter too will be one of these Rashis from Aries to Pisces. And we have to note down those Rashis. For example, if Saturn is in Aries Rashi in your horoscope, then second, third, fourth, these three houses, now I'm talking about houses, not sign. Second, third, fourth from Aries and 10th, 11th and 12th from Aries. We have to look at these 6 houses from that Rashi. If Jupiter in any of these 6 houses, then we'll say that Saturn and Jupiter are temporal friends. But if Jupiter is not in any of these 6 houses, then we'll say Saturn and Jupiter are temporal enemies. Now have a look at this. Fantastic. So here we go. Let's find out if Jupiter and Saturn are friends in your horoscope. So the intent is to look at your individual horoscope. Okay? So this is point where I'm trying to customize it for you. All right. So if your Saturn, the Saturn of your natal horoscope is in, let's say if the Saturn is in Aries, okay, as I just briefly alluded some time back. And at the same time, if Jupiter is any of these signs, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, which are these 6 signs. So from Aries, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, 10th, 11th, 12th, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Okay, though I'm talking about signs here, but I am actually looking at the houses. Second house is the house of Taurus, third house is the house of Gemini, fourth house is the house of Cancer. These are the signs. Okay, so 10th, 11th, 12th are houses donated by Capricorn, Aquarius and Pisces Rashis for Aries sign. All right. So for that person, Jupiter and Saturn, we can say they are temporal friends. Okay. But while the Saturn is in Aries, but if Jupiter is in any of these signs, so basically, if the Jupiter is in first house, which is Aries sign, or Jupiter is in 5th house, which is Leo sign, 6th house, Virgo sign, 7th house, Libra sign, 8th house, Scorpio sign, or 9th house, Sagittarius sign, then Jupiter and Saturn are temporal enemies for your horoscope if your Saturn is in Aries. Now, how to do that? You may say, okay, I don't know, I didn't understand. No worries. Let's have a look at. So this is Jagannath Hora, J-Hora. You can download this. You can also use any other software, Jyotish software like Astrology or any other of your choice. Put your birth details and then you will see the horoscope, your natal horoscope. Okay. So here I am basically using 2 pattern of horoscope. The top pattern is basically Guru Chakra and the bottom, this is Guru Chakra and the bottom, this is the Shukra Chakra. I'm not using Surya Chakra in this. So Guru Chakra you may also call South Indian chart and Shukra Chakra you may also refer to as North Indian, but the Vedic names is basically Guru Chakra and Shukra Chakra. So if you see in Guru Chakra, this is the chart for today, morning, right, as of today. Okay, I just casted this chart for easy understanding. So as of today in the morning, Saturn was in the sign of Aquarius. You see, Saturn is in Aquarius sign, 11 is written. The ascendant was Capricorn in the morning at 5:30 today. Saturn was in 2nd house in the morning, Aquarius sign. And Jupiter is in the sign of Taurus, as we know. So Taurus is here. We only look at Taurus. Now from Saturn, Saturn is in Aquarius sign. From this house, we have to look at the next 3 house and 10th, 11th and 12th house. This is house number. Okay, let us make use of this. So this is house number 1. This is house number 2. And this is house number 3. Yeah. If Jupiter is in these 3 house, or if for Saturn, Jupiter is in house number 12, house number 11 or house number 10. Yeah. Then we'll say Jupiter and Saturn are friends. Okay. And in this case, Jupiter is in Aquarius. Sorry, Saturn is in Aquarius and Jupiter is indeed in the top next three houses. So one of the six houses where we can say Jupiter is friend of Saturn. Now you understand? It is very easy for you. You can look at your individual horoscope and can understand how does Saturn and Jupiter relationship works for you. All right? Now that we know about natural relationship and about the temporal relationship, so let's merge. Okay? Now at generic broader level, when Saturn is transiting from Aquarius to Pisces, the relationship is natural or neutral. Now if in your individual horoscope, the relationship is a friendly relationship between Saturn and Jupiter, and at a generic level it is neutral. The neutral plus friendly is equal to friendly relationship. Then for you, whatever analysis I have given in my part 1, not only that analysis holds good, but there will be sweetener added to that relationship, because now for your individual horoscope, the relationship is natural plus friendly equal to friendly. So the friendly component, that sweetener component, will get added to that analysis. If in that analysis something was supposed to happen as a good, that good will be one level higher. If something was not so good, then not so good will become neutral. The propensity of that not so good will be milder. Whereas if in your individual horoscope, the relationship between Jupiter and Saturn is inimical, and at a generic level it is neutral, we know, so in Nasaric level. So neutral plus inimical will be an inimical. So that analysis which I shared with you in my part 1 will be slightly negative, or to so to say, if something good is going to happen, the propensity of that good will be a bit milder. Or if something not so good supposed to happen, then you need to be a bit more extra cautious about that. So leveraging that simple concept of relationship and understanding how the relationship is in our individual horoscopes, you can actually understand how the transit of Saturn into Pisces will hold for us. The analysis, now you know the next level of taking use of knowledge of Jyotish with the simple concept of relationship. Now you know whatever analysis you will understand or get to hear wherever, you'll apply this personalized relationship between Jupiter and Saturn to kind of fine-tune or adjust that analysis for your individual horoscope. And that is the beauty of this simple concept. So I'll pull out a lot of concepts. In every part I'll cover one simple concept in one simple part. Yeah. So with some other concept I'll see you soon. And for now, Om Namah Shivaya.